All right. Good afternoon, Whale Coin Talk community. My name is Noah. I'm very excited today to talk with the Solidus AI team. I have Liam here representing them. And Liam, usually we get started off by having you give us a quick rundown of your career and background in crypto, and then we can start to dive into the project.
Yeah. So, like you said, I'm Liam. I've been in finance probably for 12, 13 years, structuring financial models for companies that need funding. I was actually one of the original advisors for the parent company, Solidus Technologies, back in 2017. I've been involved in the crypto space since 2015, along with Paul. I was one of the advisors for Solidus AI Tech. So there's lots of information to obviously get through, but I'll probably give you a bit more of the background of the story of Solidus and obviously AI Tech a little bit later once we do some questions.
Awesome. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and dive into your project. You guys are trying to do a lot of cool things, and I would love to hear a quick macro breakdown, and then we can individually go into the nuts and bolts of things and talk about each one.
Yeah, so I mean, look, it's probably best to kind of start from the beginning, really. So like I said, look, we started off in 2017, Solidus Technologies, originally as a mining organization. So he's mining for Ethereum. We structured a financial model via a bond, which allowed us to raise just over 4 million through the UK and European investors. We bought 3,000 GPUs, which we still use today for mining Ethereum, and some of the older models are mining Ethereum Classic. The rest of the funds we used to build an 8,000 square foot data center, which originally we obviously planned to fill with GPUs and be one of the largest mining organizations in Europe. However, when the complexity level started to get higher, you obviously have the proof of work, the proof of stake issue. Mining isn't going to be sustainable for more than a couple of years.
So were you only mining Ethereum?
At that time, yeah. We're mining Ethereum and Ethereum Classic now, just due to some of the GPUs being slightly older. So what we've done is we decided to mine some Ethereum Classic because of the complexity levels.
And just out of curiosity, because when I did read the white paper, I was curious. I was wondering why you chose Ethereum and not Bitcoin, and why you didn't choose a combination of Ethereum and Bitcoin to mine back in 2017.
That's easy. Great question. But I mean, obviously, Bitcoin is ASICs. When you mine Ethereum, it's on a GPU system. So when it's on a GPU system, you can mine anything that's GPU based. So Ethereum at the time was, I mean, it still is today, really, is more profitable. And it's not just a case of, complexity levels. You've also got to factor in the power that is needed to solve the algorithms to obviously process the transactions. Yes, where we are in Bucharest, we pay 5 cents for electricity and got one of the fastest internet speeds. So it allows us to be slightly ahead of the curve. We've also got a unique IP that basically allows our hardware to run faster while consuming less electricity. So we're about 40% more efficient. So even when ETH was at its low point, and a lot of miners were shutting their doors, we were quite fortunate because of the team, because of the algorithm, because of how cheap the electricity is, that we were still able to keep going. However, we kind of sat there and said, this isn't sustainable forever. What should we look at doing? Now, we're GPU based. Artificial intelligence, infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and blockchain and enterprise solutions are all run off GPU services or HPC servers now. Our co-founder, Adrian, who is also the joint venture partner of Solidus Technologies. So he has Soft Galaxy International and Optoelectronica, which you'll find on our website. Now, essentially, they build software as well as robotics for government entities, predominantly military based. So he's building the robotics, he's building the software, and then what these government authorities are doing is they're outsourcing for their high performance computing needs. So we kind of sat there and said, look, why don't we leverage the relationships that are already there? They need supercomputing power. We've got GPUs. We've got an 8,000 square foot data center. Mining isn't going to be durable forever. Why don't we switch the business model? And that's exactly what we did towards the back end of 2020, 2021. We then gained a partnership with Microsoft for their Azure platform. We gained quite a few letters of intent from some of the clients that are already working with Adrian. And then we decided, look, we want to do something new. What hasn't been done? Why don't we kind of bridge blockchain and artificial intelligence together? And we decided to make a payment gateway and a utility, which is the world's first utilities token that allows purchase of artificial intelligence services or supercomputing power via an actual high performance computing center. It's been picked up very, very well. And at the moment, we're really, really snowballing. So I'm not going to say everything, right now, because I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some questions. But yeah, there's been lots of positive things that have been happening, especially over the last couple of weeks.
Understood. And who are some of the primary, who are you primarily selling these services to?
Yeah, so look, we've got letters of intent from Sanofi. Sanofi is a large pharmaceutical company based in France, one of the largest in the world. If you don't know who Sanofi is, just give them a Google. We're going to be tasked with sifting through their medical data to help find anomalies, which will help them provide new cures and vaccines for the future, which is obviously absolutely massive to be a part of that. The Romanian Space Agency is another one. Will be downloading their satellite images for geothermal Earth imagery movements. And there's a few other contracts that are military based or Secret Service based, which I can't really discuss, but essentially it's things like border control, suspicious packages, bomb detection, etc., etc. These are the type of entities we're predominantly going to be working with. But obviously, as time goes, we'll also look at small, medium enterprises and other organizations, and even one of our other partners, which is Cyber Smart Defense. Madeline Dimitriou is a CEO that's got 20 years of experience. He is, for me, he's a cybersecurity guru. He's been speaking quite a lot lately about, obviously, the Ukraine crisis with their cyber attacks. And he regularly speaks on, NBC, CNBC, Fox News, Thomson Reuters, USA Today, etc., etc. So he's not only in partnership with Cyber Smart Defense, but Madeline's also one of our cyber security advisors. He's also going to be a reseller for us as well. So all the clients that he's working with for the cyber security, he'll be selling our one of our platforms onto them. So there's lots of end users. All we need now is pretty much as many servers as possible to obviously activate these contracts and start getting some profit in.
Got it. And where are your HPC centers located?
Romania, Bucharest. So they're literally a stone's throw. Well, they're literally next door to Adrian's center at the moment for Soft Galaxy International. Now, Bucharest has one of the fastest internet speeds on the planet. And we pay between 3 and 5 cents after tax per kilowatt. So obviously it makes sense to be as cost effective as possible. And if you look at the eco-friendly system of our IP, it makes perfect sense.
When you say the eco-friendliness of your IP, does that just mean the amount of what does that mean exactly?
So Adrian and his team devised a unique algorithm which allows the hardware to run faster while using less electricity. So in layman's terms, we can do the job faster, cheaper, but also do it greener because we're obviously consuming less electricity for the same job. Understood.
And that's how you're able to have your hardware run on 40% less power than the rest of the industry. Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many developers do you have working on these algorithms?
Look, these algorithms have already been designed by Adrian and his team. When we move over to AI, they may need tweaking slightly, but that would be Adrian's department. Like I said, he's an absolute guru and genius when it comes to blockchain and software engineering. He's very, very well known and very, very well respected in that world. So that'll be part of his team that will be doing the algorithms and also putting the software on our hardware once obviously purchased and installed in our center.
Understood. How many people does he have working for him, and how many people are on the team as a whole?
Wow. Okay. So we have probably core members, about 14 core members. I'll just run through just a couple really. So, I mean, obviously you've got Paul Fari, who's the CEO. Probably one of the most successful guys that I know. He's very, very meticulous, very good entrepreneur. He's also been in blockchain since 2014 to 2015. Studied artificial intelligence in the London Business School. You got Adrian, like I said, president of Optoelectronica and Soft Galaxy, absolute world-renowned star when it comes to blockchain and software. He literally needs no introduction. He also helps the Romanian government with their blockchain enterprise solutions. That'll be another kind of client that we have. Madeline, obviously, I've already explained, 20 years of experience. If you look at Alexander Galuscu as well, he's a retired brigade general for the Romanian Air Force.
Wow.
Was a squadron leader there for the Chief of Military of Intelligence. He also represents NATO and the EU. Now, this guy pretty much built the cybersecurity for the Romanian national military. He designed our cybersecurity to start with. Guy's amazing. Catalin as well, very, very well known. He's got more than 22 patents under his belt for technology. Marius Opran is one of the chief scientists for the Romanian Space Agency. He's also a member of the EU Economic and Social Committee, and he also speaks with NATO. So these are just a few of the individuals that we've got in our team. So you've got some very, very well-connected people and some very, very big hitters, which is also how we were able to obviously gain these military contracts.
Yeah, I'd certainly say so. And I was curious to know more about your partnerships with government authorities and corporate entities, some of the main ones that you can highlight for us.
Like I said, I mean, look, Romanian Space Agency, I can obviously highlight, which obviously come from Marius. Sanofi, I can obviously highlight. Adrian's doing some work there already. I can say we're working for the national military. There's something there for the Secret Service, and there's some other contracts that I can't mention, like I said, because of obviously security issues. But there's a number of contracts there once you're up and running. But then that's obviously once our infrastructure as a service platform's live. Until then, we'll use the Microsoft Azure contract, which is essentially plug and play. They'll be using our hardware and running it on their infrastructure as a service platform for their clients. It's a bit like rent for rent. If any of you guys are in the property, you can rent a property to obviously rent out and skim off the top. That's pretty much what Microsoft are going to be doing for us. But they're going to be taking a lot more than just skimming, which is obviously why we want to get our own infrastructure as a service platform released as soon as possible.
Certainly. And what do you see the timeline for that being? How far out is that?
I reckon when we are from May, anywhere between 12 and 18 months is when we'll be fully operational and the infrastructure service platform will be live.
Got it. And one of your main goals is to provide AI services to a various number of sectors and help them develop their respective AI technologies as they are. Am I correct in understanding that?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just providing services for companies that are trying to help the way we live our lives easier in the future. And there's a multitude of artificial intelligence or even, high performance computing needs, self-driving cars, face and voice recognition, 3D, 4D rendering, medical industry, like I was, saying about Sanofi, healthcare industry, where, your antibiotics could at some stage in the future be tailored to your genome. So obviously everyone's DNA and everyone's makeup's, different. Yep. Recruitment, sales automation, lead generation, virtual assistants, algorithms, deep machine learning, smart cities, border control, greenhouse, automation. The list goes on and on and on and on. And the information as a service platform will have all of these adaptations to it. So the clients, if they have their own software as such, they can come in, plug it in, and literally just use our hardware, which is what a lot of big companies do. But some of the other companies are going to want bespoke systems, and it will almost be like a shop. You come on onto the website, go onto the information as infrastructure as a service platform, pick the services that you want, pick the bolt-ons. If you pay with a token, the ATEC token, which is the utility, we'll give you a 10% discount. You can use fiat, but we're incentivizing, obviously, individuals to try and use the token as much as possible. For the government authorities, they're never going to be involved into crypto. Yes, they'll use blockchain, but they don't want to be seen to be taking crypto. So what we're going to be doing is incorporating like a tick box. So, like sometimes when you buy things online, you can, donate. Would you like to donate, or round it off to the nearest pound? We're going to do something similar, saying, would you like to convert your fiat into the ATEC tokens for a 10% discount? So a lot of people are going to do that. They're then not actively actually purchasing the crypto or the ATEC token. They'll be paying in fiat. Once they've clicked the button, we'll convert that into the ATEC token. They'll get an additional 10% discount. And then those tokens that are used to purchase the services, they'll be burnt and destroyed.
Understood. So you are here to help these respective sectors in the inevitable paradigm shift towards AI usage and AI technology, whether it's medical, transportation, cybersecurity, so on and so forth. And these sectors can do this by coming onto your platform. They don't have to use your token, but they can, right? They can just use dollars if they want to as well. Am I correct in understanding that?
Yeah, dollars, euros, pounds,
fiat, Bitcoin, whatever. Yeah, whatever. So let's talk about the token. How does a token relate specifically to the project, apart from getting a 10% discount? Tell us about the tokenomics, and tell us about why do you even need a token for this? I can see this working alone without. I can see this working without having a token at all. But I'm playing devil's advocate here just to see what you have to spin up for us.
Yeah, I mean, look, this would work all day without, a token. But at the same time, there's individuals that are going to want to pay with a token, because you could purchase a token. The token will go up as time goes on because of our burn program, as well as obviously our staking and our incentivization for people obviously to hold. We're also offering, like I said, a 10% discount. So a lot of people are going to be, incentivized to use our token opposed to using fiat. It's the first payment gateway that infuses the blockchain and obviously artificial intelligence in one, because of obviously what we're doing. We have looked at other utilities. So what we're going to be doing as well is we're devising some what we're calling AI metabots, which is essentially our own NFTs. We're coding them where they can be taken into various metaverses as avatars. AI is helping us to develop them and obviously code them. They're going to be released 1,000 units at a time, and they're going to be in different sectors. So army, navy, medical, and then there'll be things like, corporals, lieutenants. They'll all have different attributes, etc., which can be purchased obviously with the ATEC token. We've also played with the idea of actually having our own marketplace for NFTs as well. So it's slightly different sector, but again, you can buy and sell with the utility. So we're obviously looking at adding as much utility and as much use cases as we can. Predominantly, obviously, we're involved in AI. But obviously, if you can get extra revenue, then as a business, of course, you're going to do that.
Tell us about your burn program. How does that work?
Yeah, so we've got 10 billion tokens. We're selling 4 billion in the rounds for the sales. Essentially, what we'll be doing is when we list in May, we'll burn a percentage of those tokens every quarter until our infrastructure as a service platform is live. What we'll then do is burn the tokens that are used to purchase the services. And through the profits, we'll use those to buy some of the tokens back and burn those as well. And we aim to burn 50% of the supply within 3 years once you've actually listed.
Understood. And can you go into a bit of detail regarding your private sale, your pre-sale, and your public sale?
Yeah, so private sale was towards the back end of last year, 0.0639. The fundraising goal was 5.1. We raised just shy of that, which was 4.3 million. We had a few issues with the platform when we first set up. I think without those issues, we probably would have done that straight away. So by December, it was at 4.3 million. Pre-sale is still underway at the moment, 0.0132. And I think memory serves me correctly, we've raised about 1.5, 1.6. Public sale starts, it should start in March at 0.015. And then there's a price increase every Tuesday. So the price will be increasing by 7.5% until we list. There's been lots and lots of movement in the last couple of weeks. We signed up 4 of the top ICO advisors on ICO Holder, one of which has done a very large deal today. So obviously waiting for that to settle to then move forward. We're also speaking to VCs and launchpads. So I think there's close to 2.5 million that's being discussed at the moment. We're going to be doing an IEO with Le Token. They're confident they can do a few mil. So, and obviously there's so much going on. We signed up a company called Signify Group over in Asia. They're going to be helping us to market and set up communities in Korea, China, and Japan. So we're actively marketing in the Asia market, and we'll be able to take American investment from next week as well. So with these, just with Asia and America, I think it's absolutely going to fly. But with the VCs and the ICO advisors, I can see this, the bar really, really moving over the next couple of weeks. We've really gained some traction.
Right on. Tell me a bit about your staking platform. What's that going to look like?
This is being devised at the moment, and funny enough, it's the same guys that doing the NFT platform. So you'll be able to stake your metabots for a reward. You'll also be rewarded for the sale of other metabots. You'll get a portion of that sale, but essentially you can come onto our platform, stake your token. You'll get a minimum 7.5% up until the infrastructure as a service platform is live. And once that's done, you'll then get a certain percentage of the profits. So we're obviously incentivizing people to stay long term and to stake, because our profits at half capacity is 60 million profit per year based on our units and based on one of our contracts. As we grow older, we have the capabilities of massively upscaling. So those originally we're looking at 7.5%, but who knows, once the infrastructure as a service platform is live, you could be getting a hell of a lot more than 7.5%. So that's going to be released probably April, May. So people may be able to stake before we actually even list.
Solidus Technologies.
Every quarter, you'll have the chance to redeem. If you decide to keep staking for the following quarter, you'll be entered, or your wallet address will be entered into a lottery airdrop, where you can win free tokens or free whitelist spots, or maybe possibly even free NFTs. So there's lots of benefits and lots of incentives for individuals to obviously hold long term.
Understood. And so you all are actually distributing a portion of the revenue generated to your holders.
We will do, yes.
Understood. Very cool. And tell me a bit more about the metabots. How much are they going to cost to mint? How many will there be at Genesis? And what kind of utility will they provide specifically to holders in the future?
Yeah, so I mean, look, a lot of this is a little bit hush-hush because we've not actually even released it to our community yet. You guys are obviously hearing certain bits and pieces, but essentially, like I said, it's going to be 10,000. We're going to release 1,000 at a time, and they're going to be based on the sectors we're working with. So, Army, Navy, Air Force, Police and Border Control, medical, etc., etc. Like I said, they'll have different attributes, and they'll have different rankings. So, in the Army, lieutenant, sergeant major, corporal, etc. Healthcare, nurse, doctor, physio, GP, brain surgeon, and they'll have different attributes and different scalpels or clothes and things that you can get. If you stake your metabot, you'll get a proportion of the profits that we earn, and also you'll get a proportion of the sales if anybody sells their metabot. For every quarter, there'll be 6 attributes to give out. Every quarter, if your bot is staked, you'll get a free attribute.
What do you mean by, when you say attribute, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so if it's our Army, for instance, it could be dog tags, it could be an Army helmet, it could be a vest, it could be some boots, it could be a different weapon. These
would be mutually exclusive NFT. Those would be their own NFTs.
Indeed, yes.
And you could restake those and also earn protocol fees as a result.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly. And we're looking to code it where you can actually take it into other metaverses as an avatar. We have played with the idea of having our own game, but that's going to be some time down the road. We obviously need to focus on what we're doing at the moment. But the metabots, price-wise, we haven't confirmed yet. And even if I knew, I wouldn't be saying right now, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be releasing 1,000. We've had close to 9,000 people sign up on our platform over the last couple of months. So I can imagine those whitelist spots are going to go very, very, very quickly. So yeah, if you guys are interested, www.ai-tech.io. I'll drop everything in the chat later anyway. But anyone that's registered, anyone that invests will obviously have priority.
How far out will be the initial launch?
For the metabots or for us?
No, for the metabots.
They're being designed now. The first prototype is almost there. The first one always takes slightly longer. I would envision and imagine the first lot would be ready almost by the time we list. So we're aiming for May is what we're aiming for. By the time they're actually designed, we use the AI to design 1,000 with the attributes, the staking pool, with the NFT staking pools ready. Yeah, I'd say probably May, maybe April at a push.
Understood. Excuse me. And what are some primary marketing strategies you guys are using to get your name out there and get leverage? I mean, obviously you have some huge partnerships, and it sounds like you've made quite a name for yourself in Europe. But what are you doing to make sure that you're a globally recognized entity and that people from all over the planet are using your services in the future?
Yeah, I mean, look, like to use the services, we've got enough contracts as it is, and we're predominantly looking for European-based individuals at the moment because in Europe we lack HPC centers. The majority of them are in Asia and America. We use a third. We consume a third of the resources, but only contribute to 5%. So there's a massive, massive demand. So we won't be needing to market to the masses because we've got enough people there. In regards to getting our name out there for the token, I mean, look, it's about doing things like this, holding AMAs with reputable groups, individuals that know about crypto, and they're looking for good projects. They're looking for the next best thing. And I may be a little bit biased because, it's a project I'm involved with, but I truly believe that this is one of the best projects, if not the best project out there because of who we are, what we're doing, the team behind us, the type of utility that we're doing, and the fact that we're the first out there. If you then look at the fact we're burning 50% of the supply, we're aiming to be a top 10 CMC token or coin within the next 2 years. And I think with what we've got planned, with what we're doing, and the fact we're burning half the percent, I can't see why we wouldn't, 1,000 plus X. That's my personal opinion. We're also looking at various PR stuff. So we've done CoinGate, Zcrypto, Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, Bitcoin.com, Bitcoinist, Crypto Potato. We're looking at Forbes as well. So obviously pushes out there. Like I said about Signify Group, we're moving over into the Asian market. We've also partnered with CrowdCreate. So CrowdCreate were voted by Forbes as the #1 digital growth marketing agency. They're going to be connecting us with VCs and high net worth individuals. And obviously now we can take American citizens investments. We'll be looking to use them to help us market for the American market. So we're looking now not just, we've got investors all around the world, but what we're looking at now is also targeting the Asian market and the American market because both markets are absolutely massive. So like I said, it's been the last 2-3 weeks. It's really started to snowball now. And I'm looking very, very forward to, especially the next couple of weeks with these ICO advisors, these VCs that we're speaking to, and obviously looking at tapping into the Asian and American market.
Understood. And how far out will users be able to trade your token? When will it hit the exchange, and what exchanges will it hit? Yeah,
so we're looking to list in May. Uniswap's been agreed, MEXC's been agreed, I think the token's been agreed. We may look at one more now, and then we'll look at adding some other exchanges in Q3 and Q4. So once we list in May, there's a 3-month vesting period. You'll get 33% of your tokens in June, 33% in July, 33% in August. Like I said, you can stake your tokens, or you can obviously look to sell. I think based on the price now to when we list, it's about 85-90% is what the gain is. And then once again, because of the marketing we're doing and everything we're doing, we envision the price to carry on increasing over time.
Understood. And I see the pre-sale is currently live. What do users have to do to participate in your pre-sale?
Yeah, so if you go to www.ai-tech.io, or even jump onto our Telegram group and just ask for the website, on the top right-hand side, you'll see Buy Now. Just obviously click the Buy Now button. It will take you to the ICO portal, register your details, verify your email, so check your spam folders. There's been an issue with Hotmail for some reason. So if you do have Hotmail, I'd definitely suggest maybe having something else in the background just in case. Once you go online, just follow the steps. Click Pay Now. Make sure you enable your pop-ups. It's really crazy. If you go on there, you'll see in big, bold, yellow writing, please enable your pop-ups. But you'd be surprised the amount of people in our chat saying, I can't seem to buy the window doesn't pop up. It's like, dude, just enable your pop-ups and then it will pop up. So it's crazy. But yeah, enable your pop-ups. It will take you through the CoinPay. Again, one of our other partners, they'll give you the wallet address that obviously you need to either scan the QR code if it's a MetaMask or a Trust wallet address, or if you're sending from something like Coinbase or Binance, you'll have to obviously copy and paste. But it's really, really simple. Takes 5 or 10 minutes.
What's the idea behind requiring people to sign up with their name and email address and creating a password and all that good stuff?
Well, we're trying to create a community, and like I said, for us, it's about doing the marketing as well. So it's not just going to be the token. There's things like the NFTs and the other giveaways and other things that we're doing in the future. So you need to be going onto your dashboard. You will then get the tokens on your dashboard, and from your dashboard, we'll be able to deposit your tokens into your MetaMask wallet once we list.
Sure. Okay, I get it. Some people are a little hesitant when it comes to KYCing their wallets.
Yeah,
I was just wondering why you guys chose to do it this way.
I've never got that, because look, I mean, if you're on Coinbase or you're on Binance, then you've got a KYC. We do KYC when we come on a lot of these AMAs. We're completely doxed because we've got nothing to hide. And the way I see it, if you've got this token, you're going to have to sell it on an exchange, which you're going to have to KYC anyway. We use a third party to KYC. We don't keep anyone's details. And by all means, you can use a fake name. You're going to have to put your email address on there. But at the end of the day, your KYC is going to be checked by a third party entity. We're not going to be using that information. For us, it's just an information for the portal. It's really, really that simple.
So I see that the pre-sale token price is about half of what it was, or excuse me, I see that the private sale token price is about half what it is for the pre-sale token price. Is there a lockup period for your private sale investors?
Yeah, so it'd be 3 months with a 1 month cliff. So that's private, pre-sale, and public. Everyone would be on the same.
So 33% will unlock after the first month, and then another 33% in the second and third, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, understood. And are you planning on going multi-chain at any point?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've looked at integrating, and we will be integrating with Polygon anyway because of the NFTs. We're also speaking to cross-chain providers, so we can obviously use multiple chains. That may take a couple of weeks to integrate. We're integrating fiat into the platform at the moment, so again, that's going to take a couple of weeks. But yeah, we're looking to integrate definitely with Polygon, and also maybe using a gateway to switch between chains for payment.
Understood. And I want to open it up to community questions here because we're running out of time. But before I do that, Liam, is there anything that I haven't asked that you really want to talk about? You guys are building a really, really big ecosystem and doing a lot of cool things with AI and blockchain. So I'm sure there's something that I probably skipped over.
No, I mean, look, you asked some great questions. Obviously, I've given a lot of additional information. The only other thing really that I'm sure someone's going to ask at some point is, the audit. Audit was carried out by Certic. Should be published next week. So we got the green light from Certic, which is good. We're also having our security smart contracts looked at via cyber smart defense. But essentially, we've got the funds up from for, in our opinion, the Rolls Royce of auditors for smart contracts. So that'll be available next week. and then obviously the contract address and everything else will be live also. So yeah, I mean, other than that, we've pretty much covered everything. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be some good questions. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. I typically ask whether a project's been audited or doxed, and I didn't ask that question, either of those questions to you. You're very well put together, and your project's very well put together. And to me, it just seemed like a given that you'd be Certec audited and doxed as well. So I saw it on your website. But anyway, we have a couple hands raised so far. Let's go with Dr. Aisha first.
Thanks, Noah. Okay. My question to Solidus AI representative is that on your website, it's mentioned that top 10 National Olympics teenage computer scientists will be invited to join the Solidus Technologies Educational Awards program. I was wondering that in future, are you guys planning on internship program where brilliant and deserving students around the globe can apply for internship at Solidus Technologies, can learn about many amazing technologies that Solidus is working on?
Great question, and I've got to say I've never had that question in that we've since we've been doing these AMAs. We've had the tree thing, but nothing about the program. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, it's something that's been discussed. Obviously, Adrian's very keen to obviously pass down some of his knowledge, and that's why we're going to be doing the Olympic technology side of things. But we are looking, once we're up and operational, etc., we will be looking at doing possible internships in the future. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. And do you have any plans in future to offer scholarship programs at different universities?
It's not something that's been discussed at the moment, but again, we always listen to our community. So if there are any recommendations, we always listen and put them forward to the board. And if it makes sense, then typically 9 times out of 10 we do it. But ultimately, when it comes to the business side of things, we kind of know our business model. It's more of a case of what kind of marketing would you like to see, the fee at the minimum entry level, etc., etc. So if you do have any recommendations, feel free to jump on the chat and ask us in there, and obviously we'll take it on board.
Okay, sure. Okay, thank you for answering.
Thank you.
Sorry, next question comes from Nicholas.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Can I ask question?
Kushkan.
Is your project only for elite investor? What about others with small fund? Is it open to everyone?
Yeah, I mean, look, something I say, and I always say this on the voice AMAs, is I love and I really prefer real questions, burning desires, rather than these kind of written down, scripted questions that we get from lots of bots when we do AMAs. But it's a good question, a good point. So yes, the project is open to everybody. That's one of the reasons why we've allowed, private sale investors and pre-sale. Our type of project being a tier 1 project, you kind of investors don't normally get to see until it lists online, because a VC snapped it up or there's been a high net worth individual. We've refused that to happen because we wanted some of the smaller investors to come in, and also it protects the price of the token, because a lot of these VCs will make the 248% when we list and then look to dump the token, and then there's all the small investors that are kind of left holding the baby as such. So we didn't want that to happen. We wanted to protect the investors, and that's why we're only really looking at VCs now. They're going to have a different vesting period, a longer vesting period, and we're not letting them invest more than 500k again to protect the token. The minimum is $500, USDT, ETH, BTC, BNB, or Tron. And like I said, the next couple of weeks, we're also going to be taking fiat payments. I hope that answers your question.
Alrighty. Next question is from Yellow Lip. You're really quiet, buddy. You have to turn up your mic. Yep. Sorry, we're having problems with your mic, man. If you can figure those out, then let me know. Ping me again. Next question is from Sayed Rahmat.
Yeah, thank you, Noah. Thank you, Noah. So you have headquarter or set up in Bucharest, Romania, right?
Bucharest, correct.
Okay, so you are planning on providing AI services globally, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, predominantly we're going to be bridging the gap and solving the problem with the European HPC centres and some of the latency issues. But we will obviously open it up to global. If we've got a global entity that's looking to use our services, obviously we're not going to be turning them away.
Okay, so also will you also allow militaries from different countries to avail your services?
Yeah, I mean, predominantly it's Romania and Europe at the moment, but if there are other entities, then, that's something we could look at. We have been discussing something with an Arabic community, and I won't go into too much details because for obvious reasons. But yeah, obviously we're not just going to restrict ourselves to one military or one particular area. We're looking to solve the issue in Europe. However, if there are companies further afield that want to use our services, then of course you're going to accept it.
Okay, yeah, also relating to this. So I was wondering, what if Romanian government or European Union restrict you to offer services to some countries or some countries' military?
That can't be done because once again, it's information as a service. So anyone can go online and pick the services that they want. If they want a bespoke service, then I don't see any legalities. That's more of a question for Adrian because he obviously works with the military and he works with various militaries around the world. But I wouldn't see that as being an issue because you're obviously not selling trade secrets. That's one of the reasons why we have to use military grade cybersecurity, and the cabinets are locked from the military and only they have access to it. So I don't see that as being a massive issue.
Okay, it makes sense. So one more final question. So Solidus Technology is a joint venture partner of BSC International, which have been approved a European Union 3.5 million euro grant. My concern is how will you keep Solidus AI technologies away from politics and prevent any political or government manipulation?
In what way? Because once again, all we're doing is providing a service. We're not providing. You could, I suppose you could provide things like fake news checkers, but again, all we're doing is providing services. So there's going to be no manipulation from governments. They'll ask us to do a job. We'll do that job for them. Some of these governments actually have the programs. They just don't have the supercomputing power because we can do it faster, because we can do it cheaper. And Adrian already has the connections there. It makes more sense for them to use us opposed to obviously outsourcing it further afield.
Got it. I was talking regarding any restrictions. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me. Liam, we are at the top of the hour. I really want to thank you for being here. But before you go, would you mind doing a quick recap of who you are, what your mission is, what problems you're trying to solve in the space, and how you're bringing AI and blockchain together? I know it's a lot, but you're a very fast speaker and you're very on point with everything you say. So I feel like you should be able to close this AMA out in a good note.
Good. Okay, cool. So, I mean, look, Solidus ATEC is the world's first utilities token that allows individuals, government authorities, or big corps to purchase artificial intelligence or supercomputing power via high-performance computing centers. The company itself has been around since 2017, but AI Tech was founded in 2021. So you investors have the chance, essentially, of investing into a startup that isn't a startup. There's contracts in place with the military, big blue chip companies and government authorities. The data center is already built. All the hard work has already been done. Now it's a case of just using the funds to purchase the HPC servers so we can activate the contracts and start getting that 60 million a year profit. Like I was saying, we're a tier 1 project. We're doing everything in the right manner. We're attacking marketing massively globally. And I think we're going to be a top 10 coin within the next 2 or 3 years. So you guys have got a very, very good opportunity to get on board with a project that is real, a project that has a real utility, and a project that has, in my opinion, one of the best management teams that I've ever seen.
Love it. I love it. And I know you said that people can contribute to the pre-sale with BNB and Tron and a couple other cryptos that are not Ethereum. Do those still need to be done through the Ethereum chain, or can we contribute those native cryptos from their respective blockchains?
Yeah, no, it'll be ERC20. That's one of the reasons we've done Tron and BNB, because the fees are less. We've also been told from the members in the group that BTC gas fees are less as well, but Tron and BNB are going to be the lowest fees. But the fees aren't even that much, to be fair. It's about $20 to $30 for
Sure.
a $700 investment. Now, paying $20, $30 when you're going to be getting 80% on listing, and who knows, it could 10x, 100x, 1000x over the next couple of years. So, $20, $30, $40 obviously is a small price to pay for those type of gains.
Got it. And it's a low minimum, just $500. What was the idea behind making the maximum contribution so high?
Again, I mean, look, it's not. That's really for ultra high net worth individuals and the VCs. We started off at 1,000. We then reduced it to 500, and the 250 went up to 500k because we were speaking to VCs. Some of the VCs were looking at a lot more than 500k, so we had to reject them because we want to protect the price of the token. And a lot of these VCs didn't want the vesting period. So ultimately, what they're going to do is put a couple of million in, make a couple of million, and then take it out and run to the hills. That's great for them, but it's not good for the normal investors. So we're very switched on with what we're doing and want to protect our investors and ultimately protect the price of the token. So it's 500k. That's purely for ultra high net worth individuals or VCs.
Got it. Well, Liam, I really appreciate you coming on today. This was one of my favorite AMAs of the week. It was really fun to listen to you talk, and I learned a lot by reading your white paper. So I wish you nothing but the best, and I think your project's going to do very well. Anytime you want to come back and do another AMA with us, you're more than welcome.
Lovely. Appreciate it, Noah. Thank you, guys. Some great questions. I look forward to welcoming you all to our Telegram channel at some point soon in the future.
Take care, Liam. Cheers.